Salute, salute, salute. All my generals, all my lions, all my real men, all my queens, all my princesses, all my lionesses. Y'all already know what it is. This is Lions and Men. We're not promoting violence or gang activity. We're just hitting y'all with facts on actual events that occurred while I was incarcerated on Rikers Island and in other facilities. Let's get into it. Hit the like, share, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, lions_and_men. Hit me up in my DMs if y'all have any type of stories that y'all want to share, and we can utilize my platform to get it out there. All facts, no cap. Part 2, extortion monsters, Rikers Island. So after dudes done ran through all the narcotics or the bud that this kid Carlos helped produce with the help of his sister, literally within that same day, it was all gone. Motherfuckers was rolling blunts like they was literally free men. They wasn't rolling no little joints and Bible paper, no. They was rolling blunts. Motherfuckers was smoking blunts. So they smoking shit like they in the streets, and it's a lot of dudes that rock with some of the dudes that's running the house, and they ran through the weed like it was nothing. So now they're like, yo, the kid that brought the narcotics in, that helped with his sister, he's under the impression that like, yo, this is like a one-shot deal. This is the one-time thing. He's gonna do this and get them off his back and he'll be okay. Unfortunately, that is not how this works. It's like completely the opposite. It's a whole 180, because at the end of the day is you opened up a door, and now that door is open, dudes is going motherfucking ride that shit to the wheels fall off, bro. Like, it's over for you. Like, until you leave this house, you will be a slave to the motherfuckers that's in that house, running that house. That's a fact. Dudes was slaves. When I start thinking about it, dudes was slaves to other inmates, to other detainees. So now this kid, you know, he did all of that. He thought he was gonna get the wolves off his back, and he did for a day. They ain't fuck with him for a day. The very next day, when niggas ain't got no more bud, motherfuckers is like, yo, get on the phone, talk to your sister. We gotta make a move. Boom, boom, boom. So Peachy was the one that initially like snatched him up, and Peachy was just a straight bully. Then you had P-Dufo. P-Dufo was cool with Peachy, and they was like the only, like, they were the two coolest ones out of, like, it was like what, 5 of them. Them two was like clicked up. Then you had the dude Fat Guard and Stacy, they was kind of clicked up, and then you had like some little stragglers here and there. But the nigga Peachy was a straight bully. I ain't gonna lie, he was a bully. He didn't give a fuck. He was very disrespectful, very loud, and he will bark, but he will bark his bite up. He will back his bark up with biting. Like he wasn't a nigga that was just loud to be loud. He was loud and backing his shit up. He was just one of those very type of individuals. He was very boisterous. So anyway, Peachy's the one that started the extorting the nigga Carlos and his family. So now, Peachy's on the phone. He got the kid on the phone. He got the kid on the phone talking to his peoples again, right? So Peachy's telling him like, yo, nigga, listen, we gonna do this, that, and third. So he's on the phone, making him say this, making him say that. Then even Peachy got on the phone, was speaking to, I guess, the sister. And then they randomly like want to talk to me. Not randomly, but the sister, because she was familiar with me when I was on the visiting floor, asked about me. So Peachy was like, yo, Chulo, come here, Chulo, come here. Oh, yeah, Chulo, that's my little bro. All of a sudden, I'm Peachy's little bro. Peachy ain't like me. He wasn't fucking with me because P-Dufo would like kind of like put me under his wing, like I said, but Peachy ain't like me in the beginning at all. he was on some bullshit, you know what I mean? But now he on the phone, and after, like, you know, the door got open, I've been there a little while now, and I done went on a visit, helped him get the bag back and all that shit. I'm getting my little weight up. And now he on the phone like, yo, yeah, Chulo, yeah, that's my son, boom, 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 that's my little bro, whatever, all this shit he talking on the phone. And then for me to get on the phone, he's like, yo, here, Blase Blah want to talk to you, talking about the nigga, Los' sister, V. So I get on the phone with her, I start talking to her, and she's asking me specific questions, like very specific. I remember, like, once I got on the phone, she was like, "Is that the motherfucker that is he the one that's like controlling everything that's going on with my brother? Is he the one that's going to get my brother hurt?" I'm like, "Listen, mommy, like, I changed the top. I'm like, I do the whole, know what I mean? I'm not gonna go into that. And plus, I got Peachy right next to me, like ear hustling like this with the phone. So I just start talking to Shorty, and basically, all I did was make her lower her guards, make her get comfortable, and make her understand that the only way that your brother's gonna survive in here is if you doing this bed with him. And in order for you to do this bed with him, you're gonna have to make sure that we stay with the bag. Facts. This is only one nigga that I'm talking about that got extorted in the house. One out of 55. There's a lot of dudes. Like, the majority of the dudes, I'm talking about one. Just to keep this in its proper perspective and its proper contents. This is one person that I'm talking about. There was numerous individuals that was getting extorted in there. So this one person, like I said, Los, his sister's on the phone, and she's talking to me, and I'm breaking it down to her. Like, yo, listen, this is what it is. You know, and at the same time, you know, we can help you out. We can send you money if you really want to do something. Peachy had to connect with some niggas that was selling dope in Hucks Point. So he had a plug. He just didn't have a mule. So what happened was, we turned this dude's sister into a mule. She ended up going to whatever address it was that I told her. And when she went to that address, she was picking up dope, you know what I mean? And she was picking up bundles of dope. She was getting trained on how to put it into the condoms, how to keep it in the bags, don't even take it out the bags, leave it in the bags. And basically, she turned into a professional smuggler in prison, because she was smuggling in mad narcotics, bro. She was coming down after that first visit. We talked to her. She comes in on another visit. This is when she goes to Hucks Point and picks up some dope from one of Peachy's peoples in Hucks Point, and she picks up whatever, a couple of bundles, 2, 3, 4 bundles, and she brings it. She comes with the other girl again to come visit me and her brother. And it gets weird, it gets different, and it gets, I mean, it's always been real, but like, this is how real it is, that at the end of the day, I end up getting in a fucking jail relationship with his sister. I kind of caught feelings for her too, I can't even lie. We both on the visiting floor now, and instead of her being in front of her brother, I'm in front of her, and the other girl's in front of him, which is, I believe, was like just a family friend. And now it's me and his sister talking directly, and basically I kind of broke her in. I showed her the ropes on how to do this shit, and I was still learning it myself at the time. Man, I was a baby at this time, bro. I was literally 16 years old. So now she's passing the drugs to me and not to him. Like, he out the whip. I mean, not out the whip, but he basically, I mean, he's just there to be there. And now I'm over there getting the bag from her and bringing it back to the dorm. We get back to the dorm. Now we breaking shit down. Everybody get a little cut. I get my cut. this nigga, Los, was still getting treated like shit. Like, his sister's doing all this shit, jumping through all type of hula hoops to keep his ass from getting hurt. And he's still getting treated like dirt. Motherfucker like, yo, here's one steak. Not even a steak. They're like, yo, they're giving him whatever they want. And he has to take it, accept it or not. And if he doesn't, then you know what that is. That means that you make it hot, nigga. You're gonna have to get the fuck up out that house. So he gets in a little bullshit corner of dope. They give him a little bit of dope. He ends up doing whatever with it. You know what I mean? Selling it, sniffing it, I have no fucking idea. But at the end of the day, his sister ends up being a committed rider for her brother, and now is transitioning into committed for me. She's over here bringing the bag now, every M to Z. And because of that, it helped my notoriety in that house, because now I'm going on a visit without even him. We don't even need him no more. It's like literally got to the point where we don't need your brother. You hear that? Niggas to the brother, niggas is having conversations like, yo, we don't even need this nigga no more. They like, we don't need this nigga no more. We got Chulo. Chulo got his sister already. Boom, boom. He's just one out of the many that was being extorted. Just one that I'm telling y'all about. I got more to talk about. Some dude called Mighty Duck. Yep, his name was fucking Mighty Duck. Long ass neck. He looked like a fucking duck. And that was his name. That was literally his name. So, this nigga, Los, right, ends up getting into a situation with a CO. So what he did was pull a stunt. Because what happened was I went on a visit with his sister, and I came back with the bag. But when I came back with the bag, something had transpired while I was on the visit with him. And it looks like, at the end of the day, dudes just like, they robbed the nigga. They snuck that from him. Got in his locker. And he didn't know who took his shit. Everybody knew who took his shit. He acting like he don't know who took his shit. He ends up taking it out on the COs, screaming at the COs, arguing with the COs. Y'all motherfuckers ain't doing y'all job, blowing it up. They end up spraying his little dumb ass, cuffing him, and he left. He went to another unit. And dudes in the house was tight because he was one of the motherfuckers that was bringing the bag back. But I still had a line open with his sister. Real talk. Yo, listen. His sister stood by me the whole time I was on the island. I was in that house for a couple, I was only in that house for 1 month until my first court date. Then when I got into my first court date, I ended up realizing that I could get out of there. So I signed out and I ended up going to GP. Because keep in mind, for those that's not aware, I'm talking about a house that was run by a bunch of adults in their 20s in PC, in protective custody. It was the MOs across from us in PC. I was in protective custody because at the time that I caught my case in 9-6, I was on the run and I had a warrant for my arrest for escaping a juvenile detention facility. So while I was on the run for a juvie case, I ended up catching a robbery on the police, which was in 9-6, February, I believe. And I had that warrant over me. So because I had that warrant over me, the minute I went to court, my lawyers brought it up. I'm not even aware about like all this shit that's supposed to be going down. Next thing you know, they're like, yo, listen, he still got a case as a minor, boom, 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 that he's sentenced to in Lincoln Hall. So they, in a nutshell, they put me in protective custody because legally that's what they had to do, because I had a juvie case that I was still sentenced to, and they had to, you know, wait to find out what the outcome was for this case in order to find out, you know, what's going to happen with the Lincoln Hall, with the juvie case. But I found out in the process while I was there, and I'm telling dudes while I'm in there, they're like, yo, you can sign out, you can sign out, you can sign out, but I got to sign out when I go to court. So I signed the fuck out of PC, bro. I got the fuck up out of PC. But let me tell you something. When I was in PC, that house was the craziest house I was, and I was all over population. I was in 4 upper. I was in 2 upper. I was in 4 main. I was in Mar 4 lower. I was all over C74. And Mar 8 was the craziest house. And I was protective custody. That house was the craziest house I ever was in. When it came to extortion, extortion was on 1,000. None of these niggas in GP was doing it like the way these dudes was doing it in Mar 8. I am not lying, bro. Don't cap. None of them. And I was in man, how I learned from them how to do shit. Facts. Anyway, y'all already know what it is, man. Lions and Men. We always here to provide y'all with actual details on actual events that occur. Like I said, we're not promoting violence. We're not promoting gang activity. We're just giving y'all actual details on events that took place while I was on the island and in upstate New York. Y'all already know what it is, man. Hit the like, share, subscribe. Hit that notification bell. Lions_and_men is the Instagram. Salute to everybody that be supporting me and rocking with me. Nothing but that fire coming here tomorrow, next day after. Let's get it.